Alright, here we go. Okay. From the time when I was about maybe 9 years old, I just decided I wanted to become a filmmaker. I had seen a number of the classic, the Japanese Godzilla movies, and which I became a huge fan of that genre. And I grew up watching all sorts of great, science fiction movies, horror movies, and a lot of great action thrillers, and I even grew up, playing a number of classic stylized video games, such as the Super Mario genre, and I just grew up, playing all sorts of interesting video games and all these kind of movies, and one night I actually it actually dawned on me to where if I want to, where I should do something based on what I'm a huge fan of, and of course I grew up watching a number of classic slasher genres, such as John Carpenter's Halloween and Wes Craven's Nightmare on Elm Street, and it just dawned on me to where I just need to do something based upon this kind of stuff. So I by the time when I was about maybe 12 years old, I actually started working on an idea for something where I actually started working on a script for my first movie, but I didn't get a chance to start working on it yet because where it was basically inspired by what happened in Night of the Aliens, and except what happened was it was a movie based on a children's book. I think that's what it was going to be, and it was going to be about some kind of massive alien invasion or something, and I think what happened was that if I tried to make this, it wouldn't be as good as quite it wouldn't be quite as fascinating as it would be with better technology today, and so I was interested in doing something that it was going to be a movie where it had a number of the some of these. Well, they're now basically classic cartoon characters, such as characters from Dexter's Laboratory and the Powerpuff Girls, Johnny Bravo, and Ed, Edd and Eddy. I came up with an idea for a movie on them as well, where they all pair up, where it was going to be like a crossover, and apparently what was going to happen was they were going to be dealing with some kind of massive alien invasion of some sort, and I realized that wouldn't work either. So at the time when I was about maybe 13 years old, I was at a drugstore one day and it was around probably the last week of September. I was walking up and down this aisle where they started selling Halloween stuff, and I found this really cool looking alien costume, and it was like an alien face, and it had like a blue shroud and kind of a silver forearm area, and kind of like a silver V-shaped appliance or something, and it looked pretty cool. And the moment I picked it up and started looking at it, the advertising photo was the person in the costume, and they had and they were holding up a pole or a staff of some sort where it was all silver, and it had like a little ball, or maybe a dome, or it was something ball shaped, but apparently that didn't come with it. So I guess you had to buy that somewhere else or something. I don't know, but anyway, I bought the costume, and as I was looking at it, it was like I was thinking maybe I should do something where it's characters of my own, where I should just create my own characters and put them in a movie. And so that's how I came up with the idea for my first picture. And I think before or maybe after I bought that costume, I had also purchased an LGM three-eyed. I had purchased a doll of the three-eyed LGM alien doll from the Toy Story franchise, and which this version of that was from that well, technically what it was the version of this doll was from the Buzz Lightyear movie, and it was just very cool. And I was thinking maybe with this doll and this alien costume, I'm thinking, well, I think I just came up with an idea for my first movie, and we were getting around the time when we could actually we could actually buy a video camera, and we could actually start making our own movies. And so I started working on a story for my first picture, which was Night of the Aliens, and I think what I wanted to do was I decided maybe just have it to where a young man by the name of Peter, is having his privacy invaded by these aliens. So that's where we decided to go. So we started production of Night of the Aliens in probably the third week, the third week, I think, of October 2000, and we started from the third week to I think the second week of November, and we had a good bit of footage taken for the picture, and apparently and the quality of the picture was like so messed up that it was made with a VHS style camera, and so many years had gone by, and it just it started aging pretty badly. Like if real filmmakers ever saw this movie, they would say, "Oh my God, whoever made this movie did not know what they were doing," which is true, because like I said, I was about 13. I was 13 when I made this picture, and I was thinking, but it did come up to a pretty decent success. It actually had it got good reviews from some people who saw it, and like mostly people who I've heard from, they say they liked it. Like they actually liked it. They thought it was pretty funny, pretty good, and so I realized, and I said, okay, that's not bad for my first picture. So I decided, what the heck, and then a year went by, and Eric and I decided we should do a sequel. That was Dawn of the Aliens. But for some reason, I didn't really know if I wanted to do it. I didn't know if I wanted to do a direct sequel to Night of the Aliens, because I didn't think it would it wouldn't go pretty good. So but the making of Night of the Aliens was actually my playground. It was my playground, and it was just very tremendous, pretty fun, and I thought it had I just thought it was very climactic and very very intense. But the way I look at it now, um, I watched it for the first time in a couple of years, or maybe 5 years, I think, and I was beginning to wonder if I should, keep going further, like keep up the genre. I mean, the franchise. Maybe keep up with the franchise. But I was too busy, working on a bunch of other stuff that been wanting to do for so many years, but never got a chance to do any of them because a lot of people I knew after I did Night of the Aliens, they a lot of them weren't came to a point where they weren't really available to me anymore. There was a good people that I've wanted to work with in movies, and um, but a lot of them have moved on, and they moved away. But there's very few people that I know that that I would really like to work with in a couple of movies, and of course, an old friend of mine, Kevin. I would like to have him. I'd like to work with him in a couple of pictures, and I I think maybe if we, but I showed him Night of the Aliens, and he thought it was outrageous, and he thought it was pretty good, um, and he thought it was pretty tremendous, but 2010 had come, and whoa, oh god, I'm going too further ahead. So after doing the second and third film, Dawn of the Aliens and Denouement of the Aliens, I decided I wanted to, go a little further ahead and try to start doing better genres and better franchises, and see what comes up, and but but in the year but 2003 came. um, Eric Hires, my brother Eric, went on to do two big movies that went head to head, and both of them acknowledged Night of the Aliens. In The Shadow of the Boogeyman, which had me in it as well. I played the role of Kevin Chaney. There's a scene where I walk into the bedroom of this little baby girl who where I look in a closet, where I'm looking in the closet, and you can see where the top shelf just above my head, there's the alien doll that we used, that Eric wanted to put in as a nice little in joke to the movie, and apparently we had it to where it fell, and I pick it up and put it back up. And meanwhile, in East Lake High V-Day, which was like the second biggest movie Eric had done, my character Harry is lying in bed watching Night of the Aliens on TV and reading a Spider-Man comic book, and Eric's character Matt is blowing out a little speech of a disregard on the people who made it. So there you practically have it. So East Lake High also features a nice little in joke where a number of the main on-screen and off-screen characters, like characters that are mentioned in the movie, but you don't see them, are all named after characters from comic books, which is a neat little tribute to Marvel characters and DC characters. Like Eric's character Matt is one of them, which refers to Matt Murdock, Daredevil, and a girl, the female character Gwen refers to Gwen Stacy, Peter Parker's girlfriend. There's a character named by the name of Peter, as in Peter Parker, Spider-Man, and there's a character by the name of Scott who was not seen in the movie, refers to Scott Summers, Cyclops from X-Men, and my character Harry refers to Harry Osborn, from Spider-Man, and there's quite a few characters in the movie that are mentioned, but you don't see them. there's a scene where there's a scene where Eric's talking on the phone to a guy named Bruce, which refers to Bruce Wayne, Batman, or as in Bruce Banner, the Hulk. So that's a pretty good little montage that Eric put up in that movie. So a couple of years went by, and I decided that I wanted to make a few other movies, and didn't really get a chance to actually start working on them because I was still in school, and I had to get ready for my graduation, and I had to get ready for a few other things after high school, and I started writing some scripts, and then in 2007 or 2008, I think, I decided that I want to do a remake of Night of the Aliens. And then I actually started working on a script, and I thought it'd be I decided I wanted to put a few more characters in the movie where and I started working on the script, and we have it available now, and I'm hoping pretty soon that once we start working on it, it would actually be a better quality now this time. So and of course I would probably which I'm probably gonna end up doing the same thing, write, direct it, and star in it as well as the same character, but what I want to do for the alien characters, I want to use a completely different wardrobe for the role of Elvin Lore. But what I had just recently seen some photos of some alien costumes, and some of them were the same exact quality as the Elvin Lore costume, but I want to use the same type of costume, but I want to use a completely different type of mask because not very long after I bought the original Elvin Lore costume, it just went into really bad shape, and like I'm guessing maybe it's been on display and in storage back and forth for so many years, and like no one ever really wanted to buy it or something, and the shroud, the silver V, and the aluminum on the forearms were all badly wrinkly, and the mask, the eyes of the mask came to a point where they got so foggy and messed up so bad where you couldn't really see very well out of them, and which became a very big issue with whoever will be in the costume. So I'm hoping when I do the remake, we won't have a similar problem like we did back in the original franchise. Basically, what I like about doing movies is that I like to put someone in a costume and have them perform as the villain, and I like for them to I just like to have them have gigantic power, and which I am pretty good on wanting to do evil aliens, and underworld kingpins, and all sorts of classy macabre villains, and I'm hoping that's what I get to do when I get to do the remake, and like I said, I have a script available for a remake, and but the problem is I'm kind of in between jobs right now, and I need to at least collect some of the funding before we actually start filming the movie, and maybe have some more better props and weapons, and maybe a small crew this time someone to operate the cameras and control the lighting and all that kind of stuff. So, but I do have a couple of friends who say they would like to be involved with the picture, and I'm really looking forward to it. So 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 once I get to around the time of making um, the remake of Night of the Aliens, I I would at least like to try to um, collect some kind of prop that I would like to use, but I'm not quite sure how it would, you know, be impressing to certain people, because because people make videos on YouTube now with similar props that people use in other movies, and YouTube, they just and they start yelling at people for putting these for using those props and using that music and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's not like but it's not like they're making money off of it or something. I don't know. But for some reason, so when people put certain videos on YouTube, they get an email back from YouTube yelling at them for what they did. So I don't really know. So once I start working on the remake of Night of the Aliens, I want to try to look for a couple of locations where it would actually be safe to use, and I would like to try go into this go into this place out in the country somewhere where it will be because there was this place that I was living at for like almost 10 years, and it was just a beautiful landmark and a beautiful location, and I thought it would be good to make a movie there. So but I'm gonna try to at least look for a place where I can actually try that, and who knows what. So once I start working on the remake, I want to try to be as I want to try to make this into a masterpiece, because as good as the movie was back when Eric and I first made the movie, it immediately became a masterpiece, and I just want it to last for a good number of years, and maybe some other movies I make will pay a tribute to it, because like I said, even if I did a movie on zombies and giant monsters and all that kind of stuff, I would want to put a little tribute into it. So there you practically have it.